What's going on, everybody? This is Drew with Marcus Appliance, and today we're going to be looking at the Speed Queen dryers lineup. So this is going to complete our full reviews of all Speed Queen laundry. We've done the top load washers, we've done the front load washer, and now we're finally getting to the dryers. So we're going to be looking at the DR3, DR5, the brand new DC5 that is going to be coming out in April of 2025, and it's got a lot of significant improvements from the previous model. And we're going to be looking at the DR7. So we're going to be looking at all the features, what makes each model a little different, and why your next laundry set might be a Speed Queen. We're going to start with the DC5, and then we're going to go from there. So let's get started. So this is the classic dryer. This is the matching dryer to the classic TC5 washer. So the TC5 washer is Speed Queen's only traditional, tried and true, old school style washing machine with a traditional single action agitator. And this is the matching dryer for that washer. All right, so let's talk about the cycle options that you have with this classic model. You've got auto sensing, which is just going to measure the moisture level in the drum, sense that moisture level, and dry accordingly. So it's going to help prevent over drying. And that feature is going to play in tune with this auto dryness feature that you have over here. That we'll talk a little bit about that later. Your sanitize is going to be a 75-minute high heat cycle that's going to kill 99.9% of bacteria. So that's recommended for medium or larger loads. You do have two time dry cycles, a 30-minute or a 60-minute, if you're just like that traditional time dry. And you got a steam refresh, which is going to refresh, help release wrinkles, just a quick cycle to refresh your clothes. If something's slightly worn, you want to wear it again, just throw it in that steam refresh and it'll help freshen it up. And then you've got a pet hair remover. So this is a 10-minute cycle. You can do it just as a standalone cycle. So throw it in there, remove some pet hair. Or if you're gonna do it to something that needs wash too, you would throw it in the pet hair remover in the dryer first and then wash it. And then when you go to dry that, you don't necessarily have to use that. You would use a regular cycle. But that is it for the cycles. So let's jump over here to the other options and features that you have on the left-hand side. For the auto dryness options, you've got less dry, which is going to use the least amount of energy out of the other options. It's going to get most items dry, but heavy items like heavy bath towels or denim, it's probably going to be a little bit damp. The near dry option actually stop when they're a little bit damp, and that's just because some fabrics don't like to be dried all the way, but you can get close to that point and then hang dry them. Dry is just going to be your typical good old-fashioned dry, and then you also have dry with an extended tumble. So that extended tumble is for if you don't get your clothes out of the dryer right away. It does some extended tumbling on no heat, just to make sure they're not, your clothes are not just sinking into each other and creating wrinkles. So in any of these cycles though, there is a 10-minute cool down period at the end, which is going to run the dryer on no heat, so it gets the clothes to room temperature, and that also helps prevent wrinkles. So that's a thing that's across all the Speed Queen dryers. That kind of is a cool feature for them. So your fabric selector knob is actually how you also control the heat on this dryer. So no heat is obviously going to be no heat. Your delicates are going to be your super lightweight clothes. That's going to be your low heat. Your permanent press is going to be medium heat, so it's going to be more like synthetic clothing, Lululemon, stuff like that. Regular is going to be your jeans. It's going to be a medium to high heat, and it's going to be more your bigger items if you're ever doing like towels, jeans, big heavy duty items like that. So that's all the controls for this classic model, and some of these features you're going to see in the other models too. And so let's just look down at the blower and we'll talk a little bit about the build of this Classic that also is going to be in the other dryers as well. So to talk about some of the build features with the Speed Queen dryers, and this is true for the entire lineup, the venting options are a little flexible. Like you can vent from the back, which is how it comes from the factory, obviously. You can vent from the side, and you can also vent from the bottom if you ever needed to do that too. It's a very heavy duty built machine. It's got 220 CFM blower, so a nice big blower, and a 3rd horsepower motor. So very well built product, and the doors are reversible if you need to do that as well. You know, it's got a nice big bright LED light in it, which is kind of hard to see because this whole room's lit. But definitely at night if you're digging in your dryer, it's very illuminated very well. You got your lint catch here, which is your typical kind of lint catch. This does block kind of some bigger items. Even though a majority of these dryers, besides the DR7, have knobs, you are still controlled by a control board at the bottom. So it's not mechanically controlled, even though you might be used to knobs in your previous dryers, still ran by a control board. So it's a little bit different and new, but and you got your control board right down here in the left-hand side corner. So if you ever need, since this is a gas dryer, if you ever did need to convert it to LP, you've got your orifice access right here. So that's very easy. It just takes 2 screws if you ever needed to do that yourself. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the DC5. Let's go on to the DR models, and we'll start with the DR5 and the DR3. All right, so this is the DR5 model, and when you're looking at the controls for this DR5, you may notice it's pretty much the same as the DC5. The only difference is with the DR5, you do not get the pet hair removal. So as I mentioned before when we were covering the DC5, this new April 2025 model is going to lose mechanical controls and is going to go electronic with the control board. And for the typical TC5, DC5 customer who likes the old school kind of machines, I'm not sure if that's going to sit very well with them, since now you basically made the Classic dryer just like the DR5 dryer, but you had the pet hair removal. So there's not much differentials between the DR5 and the DC5 anymore. But let's talk about the DR3. So the DR3 is Speed Queen's most basic dryer, just like how the matching washer, the TR3, is the most basic of their washer lineup. And the DR3, like the DC5, is also going through an upgrade in April 2025. It is also losing mechanical controls for the cycle options, going all electronic, very similar to the DR5. And I do not have that prototype field test unit, so I'm going to use the DR5 to kind of talk about the DR3, since they will look very similar once the new DR3 comes out. So the new DR3 is going to have a similar black backing. It is going to lose heavy duty fabric selection and is going to combine permanent press regular into one selection. Your second selection is going to be delicate, and your third selection is going to be no heat. So you're just going to have those 3 fabric selection options in the new DR3. You will not have steam in the DR3. You will not have pet hair remover, and you will not have steam refresh, obviously. For the cycle options, you will only have the auto sensing, you will only have the sanitize, and you will have some time dry options. So very basic dryer, but still very well built. The blower is going to be the same amongst all the Speed Queens. The motor is the same. So still a commercial, well-built machine, just going to lose some features. And but you still have a nice 3-year warranty with it. So that's pretty much it with the DR3 and the DR5. Now let's go into the DR7, which is going to give you the mother load of features for the Speed Queen dryers. So this is the DR7 here. This is their highest end dryer. It has a 7-year warranty. So their highest warranty for their most featured dryer. You take a look at it, it's the only one without knobs. And I also got it in this matte black color. So the TR7 set and the TC5, DC5 are the only Speed Queens in their top load laundry that come in matte black. Their front load FF7 models, FF7, DF7, also come in the matte black. But it's a nice powder coated finish. But I wanted to show that to you guys to see what it looked like. Lots of different customization, lots of different cycle options in the DR7. And let's get into that here now. So I'm gonna start with the auto sensing cycle options. You've got heavy duty, regular, permanent press, delicates. Heavy duties obviously are going to be your bigger items. Regular is going to be your kind of standard items, but like blue jeans. Permanent press is going to be like more like your synthetics, more like your workout clothes, stuff like that. Delicates are going to be like your very lightweight clothes. And you cannot customize the temperature because, as we mentioned in the DC5, your fabric selection, which that's basically your auto sensing, that's the names of the cycles, that's the fabrics. It's going to have a standard temperature. So heavy duty is going to have high, permanent press medium, regular is also medium, delicates are going to be low. But you can customize the dryness level. Say you want some synthetic permanent press fabrics at damp, you can do that. You're going to have a time estimate there for you. But that's important to know for the auto sensing cycles is that the temperature is preset based on the fabric, but the dryness levels can be customized for those. All right, the next thing let's get into is the Pet Plus cycles on this DR7 dryer. So you've got the pet hair remover, which is similar cycle, same cycle as on the DC5, so it's that 10-minute cycle. It's going to be for standalone dry items before the washer that you would put in there. Pet hair is going to clump together and it's going to get trapped in the lint screen and in between the lint guard, and then you would just take the lint guard out, scoop that pet hair out, throw it away. And then you also have a pet item cycle, so that's going to be a cycle in and of itself. So it's going to be a 55-minute cycle that you can add anti-static or steam boost, which are both steam options. And you can also put an extended tumble on it. That'd be more for like pet beds or like clothes that are filled with pet hair. You can throw it in there and that's going to remove some pet hair too. So next up you've got the manual cycle options, and there you've got time dry and quick dry. So you can customize the time on those, obviously, since they're manual. You can customize the temperature for them, but you cannot customize the dryness level, and you cannot add steam boost or anti-static, though you can use extended tumble on them. So those are just more, obviously your basic time dry cycles. And after the manual cycles, you've got your steam cycles. So you've got steam sanitize, which is the high 75-minute high heat cycle that's going to kill 99.9% of bacteria in the drum, and that's going to use steam with it as well. And then you've also got the steam refresh. So you've got two options there. You've got a 30-minute steam refresh, and then if you change the temperature to high, you've got a 20-minute. So you can either go medium or high temperature on the steam refresh just based on the fabrics that you're drying. But yeah, so again, the steam refresh, just like we covered in the DC5, is going to be if you just want to refresh something that's lightly worn, not very dirty, that you don't need to wash, just want to freshen it up a little bit. That's what you would use the steam refresh cycle for. Finally, let's get into the options on the DR7, the add-on features that you can use with certain cycles. So first, we got the extended tumble. So every 2 minutes, this will tumble the clothes in the dryer if they're not transferred, and it's going to do that every 2 minutes for up to an hour. Then you've got an echo dry. So an echo dry is going to decrease the temperature 10% just to help save energy. If you're using echo dry, you cannot use steam boost and anti-static. Then you've got your signal, so you can adjust the volume to low, medium, high. If you have the extended tumble on, that signal will sound every time the extended tumble happens, so every 2 minutes for up to an hour, just to make sure to get your clothes out of the dryer. And then you've got the steam boost and the anti-static, and you can use those almost on every cycle. If you have the auto sensing cycles on, you cannot use steam and anti-static if your dryness is less dry or damp. It has to be near dry or dry. You also can't use the steam boost or anti-static on the manual cycles either. But yeah, steam boost we kind of went over already. Just helps with wrinkles, helps to soften fabrics. Your anti-static would be good in the winter time when things get really clingy, and that's going to release some steam towards the end of the cycle just to help clothes not get static touch with each other. And then, like I said before, when you're covering the DC5, if you're using steam in any capacity, you do not want to use the dryer sheets. So I would probably recommend using like wool balls. Those work out pretty good for that. Lastly, you've got favorites. So you have about 8 favorite options you can save. If you like a certain cycle that you want to save, you don't have to press it every time. You can save that as a favorite, and you can save up to 8 cycles. So that's pretty much it with the DR7. Again, you've got the 7-year ultimate warranty. And if you are deciding between the top load TR7 and the FF7 front load, the dryers are the exact same. You have the exact same features in the dryer. So whether it's the DR7 or the DF7, the front load matching dryer, they have the same dryer options. So that's pretty much it. If you are in the market for a Speed Queen, they are only at independent retailers. I would highly suggest buying from a company that does their own service as well, and that does not contract out service. That way, if you have issues, you can just call them and they can help you out. You don't have to talk to the manufacturer, only in extreme cases. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked this video. If you have any, now that we're done with the Speed Queen lineup, I am looking for some other things to do some reviews on. I think I'm going to do some Bosch dishwashers next. But if you have any appliances that you want to look at, let me know in the comments below, and I will look at some. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.